Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a delivery to make.
Never a bad time for flowers. Come on in. Could you find a place for those while I change?
Of course.
By the way, if you're trying to impress me, you succeeded.
I spoke to some of my colleagues at the Jupiter station this morning. It seems that the manager of our station cafe has decided to quit.
Really?
They're still looking for a new manager, someone with experience in both food service and entertainment. Someone like you.
Me?
Yes, I've already taken the liberty of speaking to our station's commanding officer about you, and she's amenable to the idea. The cafe is yours if you want it.
My own cafe? Oh. Sorry.
Not at all. It's not very big. Less than half the size of Quark's.
Really?
But there's room enough for a couple of domjot tables.
I've never run a restaurant or any kind of business. I barely even know how to tend bar.
That puts you one step ahead of our last bartender.
But where will I stay? I don't even know anybody there.
You know me, and I was hoping you would consider staying with me.
But Louis, I just met you. I mean, I like you.
You see, you're warming up to me already. Given time, you might begin to feel more. Just as I do. Besides, you said you like cerebral men, and at the risk of sounding immodest, I have a towering intellect. Come with me, Lita. Please. I promise you won't regret it. I know I won't.
I need to think about that.
Take all the time you need.
Captain Cisco seems like a very nice man, Jules.
Not like the captain of the transport that brought us here. I've never met a ruder, more abrasive man in my life. I'll tell you, when I used to run shuttles, I never would have tolerated that kind of behavior towards my passengers.
Dad, you're talking to me now. You were a third-class steward for 6 months.
That's right. And I was required to have daily contact with the passengers. And you can bet that if I even looked at them,
You were a...
Captain Cisco seems like a very nice man, Jules.
not like the captain of the transport that brought us here. I've never met a ruder, more abrasive man in my life. I'll tell you, when I used to run shuttles, I never would have tolerated that kind of behavior towards my passengers.
Dad, you're talking to me now. You were a third-class steward for 6 months.
That's right. And I was required to have daily contact with the passengers. And you can bet that if I even looked at them the wrong way, I would have been discharged on the spot.
So you were?
No. I resigned.
Are you still doing research, Jules?
Yes. Right now I'm working on 2 studies of prion replication in ganglionic cell clusters.
You could have done research back on Earth. I told you that 5 years ago. But you insisted on taking this position because you wanted to work in frontier medicine.
On DS9. I could do both. So, you're doing landscape architecture now?
It's all he can talk about. You should see the stacks of drawings in our house. It's like living in a drafting studio.
Some very important people have expressed interest in my park designs. Some very good prospects on the horizon.
Oh, you always have very good prospects. And they were always just over that horizon.
Maybe you should tell us about the interviews we're doing tomorrow, Jules. What kind of questions will they ask?
Well, Dr. Zimmerman, as I understand it, is trying to compile a complete psychological profile of me. He's He's going to be asking you all sorts of questions. Try to keep your answers as brief and to the point as you can. You don't want to give him any openings to probe into any awkward areas.
I'm sure we can handle it.
Try not to take this too lightly. He's going to be asking detailed questions about my childhood, and if you're not careful...
You don't trust us?
He didn't say that, Richard.
No, but that's what he meant, isn't it? You think we're going to slip up, say the wrong thing, get us all in trouble?
Look, I've got a lot at stake here. My whole career could be destroyed if Dr. Zimmerman gets wind of our little secret.
You've got a lot at stake. But what about us? We could go to prison, Jules. Have you ever thought about that?
Of course I've thought about that. That's why I want you to take this seriously.
Oh, so now we're not taking it seriously. We're not as bright as he is. We don't have your gifted intellect, so we can't see the perfectly obvious.
That's exactly why I haven't been home in 3 years.
Jules,
Now let
please.
it go. You can barely stand to be in the same room with us.
I haven't made up my mind yet. I mean, this could be a big opportunity, but that's no reason to rush into anything. What do you think I should do?
I don't know.
If I had a reason to stay, I'd stay. Do I have a reason to stay?
I don't know.
Well, I guess I better take the job.
Great.
Is that all you can say? You don't know. Thanks, Rom. You've been a big help.
You're welcome. Is there something I can do for you?
Your father has something he wants to say. Richard.
It's a stressful time for all of us, and maybe I said some things I shouldn't have.
What he's trying to say is we would never do anything to jeopardize your career.
And just so there's no misunderstanding, I give you my word that at no time in our interview with Dr. Zimmerman will we ever mention or even hint at the fact that you were genetically enhanced as a child.
Jules, you can trust us. Your father and I have kept the secret of your DNA resequencing for almost 25 years, and we're not going to let it out now.
But I would just add that despite what the authorities would like us to believe, genetic engineering is nothing to be ashamed of. You're not any less human than anyone else. In fact, you're a little more.
We didn't come here to start another fight. Let's just try to get through this. All right?
All right?
Zimmerman thought it would be a good idea to test the program's ability to cope with an unexpected situation. And you let them go on? You let them stand there, make fools of themselves, while the two of you sat in the back room and laughed? Look, I'm sorry about this. I wish it had never happened. But it has, and now we've got a problem.
I don't want to talk about it.
Julian, Zimmerman is going to file a report saying that Dr. Bashir is unsuitable for computer modeling because of his suspected genetically enhanced background. Do you know what's going to happen when that report gets back to Starfleet Medical?
It's going to be a formal investigation, which will lead to my eventual dismissal from the service.
And it's true?
You're the Word.